Good afternoon and welcome to Cedar Lake on the beautiful campus of Cedarville University. I'm Dr. Danielle Fredette, Assistant Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering. And later we'll be joined by Resound Radio staff Chloe Hunt and Ellie Hines. It's homecoming at Cedarville, and this is the 28th annual canoe race. Earlier we were able to catch up with Dr. Chasnov to get an idea of what this event means to the engineering department and to the university community at large. Okay, Chloe and Ellie are joining us from the sandy finish line. Today the air temperature is around 80 degrees, but Chloe and Ellie, how is the water temperature today?
The water is at 72 degrees Fahrenheit.
The weather is great, blue skies, sunny, it's a great time.
All right, this year we have 33 teams competing in the race from the engineering department. The cardboard canoe race is a graded project for the engineering professions class, which is taken by all the first-year engineering students. And how this race works is that each of those teams were given 40 feet of cardboard. It's kind of like the cardboard used to make cereal boxes, and about 330 feet of packing tape to build their canoes. And they learn how to design aspects of the canoe based on the weight of the passengers and other factors, and have to work together to design and manufacture the canoe. So coming up next, when we get started, we're going to see the very first canoes hit the water. We'll be back in a moment.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Bob Chasnov. I'm the Dean of Engineering and Computer Science, responsible for the freshmen in this event. Any non-freshmen in this event, I'm not responsible for. Welcome to Cedarville on this beautiful day. We are here to allow our freshmen to compete in their cardboard canoes, which are only constructed cardboard and cellophane construction tape. And they've had a little bit of help from upperclassmen in helping with their designs. So we hope that none of them sing today. But we're going to take what we can get. And we just want to start by thanking the Lord for this beautiful day. Will you pray with me, please? Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for this weekend you have gathered us together so that we can celebrate what's happening at Cedarville University. We do pray for safety for this event. We pray for good competition. We pray to see some really good fast boats coming across the lake. And we just continue to give you the honor and the glory for the work that these students are doing. I pray that they'll help us to be a blessing to one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You're going to start to see the flurry of cardboard canoes coming toward the top on the northwest side of the lake. You can see a few coming right now. You'll be able to hear a pistol go off. You can check the starting pistol. It's okay. They are all blanks. I've been assured by Dr. Cole. And then,
All right. So we've got our very first canoes in the water right now. Dr. Cole is over there getting ready to fire his starting gun. And let's see, who are our first two teams? So we should have, so I have a list here, hopefully it's correct. We should have Caden and Braden. No, that's wrong. Caden and Michael should be actually piloting canoe number 1, and Daniel and Levi should be piloting canoe number 2. And we've got some of our upperclassmen over there in the water helping them get down into their boats. You really want to get into the boat correctly because you don't want to put your foot through the bottom. Anyway, I should introduce. So I like to have some of my students come and watch the canoe race with me on the live stream. So my first student who came and joined me today is Anthony Chafee. He's a senior, computer engineering, and so he and I are going to be sitting here chit-chatting and watching the canoe race for a little bit. So what was your canoe experience like?
So,
what's going through these guys' minds right now?
They're very nervous right now. So the way the points work is when Dr. Cole shoots off that gun, you get pretty much most of the grade for this this competition, assuming they haven't changed it in the last few years. So, wow, that's a pretty shot. I don't think we had drone technology.
Yeah, we're really admiring the drone shots.
So
here they go.
Here they go. So here's the start. Here's where you get to see if people can really paddle or not.
Yeah, that's true. There is all of this focus on building a canoe and not much on... Oh, there they go.
That was quick. As I said, paddling, that'll get you.
Okay, so that was... you can fail by getting a hole in your canoe, but that's not what happened there. It just fell over.
So they can, if they can rescue it. It doesn't look like they can, so...
Now, once that inside gets wet, it's really hard.
That's unfortunate. These guys are making it. So my canoe, we made it a little too wide and a little too long because when we're designing the canoe, we use a program called TK Solver. Helps you figure out how low your canoe's gonna go. And so I was like, hey, if you make it wider and longer, it doesn't sink as far.
Oh man.
No, 2 sinkers. That's an exciting way to start off the race.
The crowds love the sinkers. As sad as that is.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh man.
Well, that was me 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, you were a sinker.
We got to the first buoy, and I was in the back of the canoe. Every stroke we took, water came into our canoe, so it was like a time bomb. And
right, but you get points for getting to the first buoy and the second buoy.
You do.
Okay.
So yeah, it wasn't a complete failure. Plus, you get to go in Cedar Lake and do it legally, which is pretty rare.
Yes, usually if you go in Cedar Lake, it is not legally.
Yes.
Well, and was it nice and warm when you were on your canoe race day?
It wasn't cold.
Okay.
I feel like it was a little colder than today, but the water was nice. So.
Awesome. Some days it's nasty.
A lot of algae down there. Pretty squishy.
Yeah, I bet. That's nasty. All right, so we've got, oh no, we don't have our next canoes up yet. I guess they were expecting that race to go a little longer.
Yeah.
That's funny. But on teams 3 and 4, I am looking at my list. Looks like we have Ethan Tanner and Ian Bellinger, who's going to be piloting Team 3, and then Jacob Brucken and Alexander Heinrich.
How many teams are there?
4. There's 33.
Wow.
Yeah. So quite a lot. And each team has an upperclassman advisor as well. So each of the groups of 4 students are supposed to pick out somebody, could be a sophomore, junior, or senior, who has done the canoe before and can help them to hopefully make better decisions. So, some of your colleagues were in Team 1 and 2.
Oh, are those advisors?
These are the advisors.
Ah.
Yeah. I won't say who they were. Anyway, it's funny. So, wait. So you're saying your canoe took water in because it was too wide and too long?
Yeah, well, so what happens, so there's always engineering, there's trade-offs, right?
Yep.
So everything you do, there's a pro and a con. So the pro was it wouldn't sink as much, but because we made it out of cardboard, it's flimsy. And so ours was too long, so it wasn't structurally supportive, so it kind of bent in the middle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then it would take on water. So
Yep.
Plus we did a bad design where we were designing to sit in it for some reason, and you want to kneel.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to kneel on those outside edges, which are the strongest support in those bottoms.
Because then you can be up and paddle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we started getting into it. We were getting lowered into it, and we can't sit in this. So I kneeled, and I think Peter in front of me, Duttweiler, was sitting.
Oh, you were with Peter. Okay.
Yeah, so we both went on a swim. It was exciting.
That's fun.
We had some post-traumatic stress after we would go around the lake for the next couple weeks.
Thinking about your failure.
Canoe.
Oh, that's funny. Well, just to reassure the parents who might be watching of those unfortunate fellows who just sank their canoes, Peter and Anthony are both very good students, and they're both very successful seniors now.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. These look stable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually a good race here.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Yeah, the one's really high.
Yeah.
Number 3. It's almost too high. Struggling to get their paddles into the water.
Come on, guys, this is a race.
Good job, guys. So, Anthony, do you have a favorite class at Cedarville that you can tell us about?
Probably DLD, I think.
Ooh, good choice.
I think coming in, I thought I wanted to do computer engineering, but then I took DLD with Dr. Cole, who you saw shooting off the gun, and I think that convinced me. I really enjoyed that class. And then advanced DLD was even cooler because we got to build a robot. And we got to program that. That was a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. So you like programming the robot. What did you like about DLD, though? Because that's a freshman class.
Right.
So most of these guys are taking DLD now, or they will next semester.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting, like learning just how like a computer worked from like the inside.
Yeah.
And how it's really, Dr. Cole would say over it, it's computers are really stupid, but they do simple things really, really fast.
Right.
And so it was interesting just seeing how those work. And just the logic, like AND gates, or I enjoyed that stuff. So.
Right. It's kind of unexpected. It's not what everybody thinks about when they think about engineering.
No.
They think, oh, you're building something in a shop or something like that.
Right.
But then there's this whole other part of it. Yep. That's a good choice.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, these guys are doing great.
Yeah, it's a good race. You don't usually get neck and neck. That makes things exciting.
So it is actually a race in that the fastest time who gets across will be the winner. But obviously they don't all race at once. So, but they all get a time, and then if you make it, best time wins. Yeah, looking good.
Wow. They were behind at first. Now they're speeding ahead. Now, the interesting thing is, though, dismounting from your canoe is a skill in itself. Because you don't dismount correctly, you'll trash your canoe.
You'll what it?
You'll trash it.
Oh, well, yeah. And you don't want to trash it because then you can't have the demolition derby. You can't enter into the demolition derby. Oh!
All right, that was pretty smooth.
Nice.
But now there's water in the canoe, and
they kind of look like they must have planned that, though.
I think so.
They're going for time, though. These dudes are going for time, but now their canoe is full of water.
There they go. They got it.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Very good.
First completion.
Wow, we currently have a first place boat, number 4. Congratulations.
Yep, so team number 4 is the team to beat. Oh, these guys lost a part.
And we have a second place boat. Fantastic.
All right, awesome. So 5 and 6 are ready to go. In those boats, we've got David 2 and Silas Dittmer in Team 5, and Joshua Capella and Gideon, an exciting name, Gideon Rutaremwa. And of course, now these are actually teams of 4, so there's several other guys on these teams. I can try to read you the names, but I don't know all of these guys yet, so I might not read your name quite right. I'm sorry about that, moms and dads. Anyway, but I can read them to you. Team 5, they're...
Hi, can I start by having you tell me your name and how you think you did on the boat race?
Yes, I'm Jake Brucken, and I think we did pretty good. Not as good as I expected, but yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
All right, looks like... Shoot, which one sunk?
Number 5.
That was 5. Okay, so that was the team of Joseph Leak, David 2, David Berman, and Silas Dittmer.
Oh.
And the guys who are still going, Team 6, that's Avery Rare, Joshua Capella, Joshua Buchelich, and Gideon Rutaremwa.
I think they have a picture of Dr. Chasnoff.
Yeah, they do. Look at that. That's very interesting.
Hopefully,
I wonder
gives
if
it-
he. I wonder if he approved the use of additional materials.
I don't know.
Come on, get faster. The time is awaiting.
I don't hear. So that voice you might hear in the background is Dr. Chasnoff.
The cell phone was discovered.
All right, we've got a replay of the sinker that we just had. Team number
look
5
at that. Oh, no.
falling down in the back. So sad.
Yeah, you can see their sides were pretty shallow.
Yep. These guys kind of have a cool design where they didn't bring the skin all the way up.
That is true.
I
I've
guess
seen
you
I've
don't
seen
really
some
need it.
teams use tape. I don't, they might have tape
They
on
might
that
have
last.
tape,
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
just
I
to be
can't
cool.
Tell. Yeah.
Make it look cool, use up their extra tape.
But they're making it through.
So do you have any advice for incoming Cedarville students, Anthony?
For sure, don't be afraid to talk to your professors. They are always ready to answer questions. And I think they like it when you go and ask them questions in office hours too. It shows you care.
Right.
And the professors here are incredible. That's probably my biggest plus for coming to Cedarville is the engineering department's just really top notch. Great people. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask professors questions. Get a good study group, especially for big classes like physics or like math classes. It's really good to have people to just bounce ideas off. So.
They're chanting Dr. Chasnov's name. That's funny. Look, they've got their safety glasses on. Wow.
They're doing well.
I don't really understand, but okay. I appreciate the style.
I do. It's unique. It's very unique. The ability to not only build a boat out of cardboard, but add some style to it is worth recognition.
Right. Well, I don't know. I like it. I think they're embracing the kind of weird tradition that is the cardboard canoe race.
That's right.
It's a lot more than just a class project.
That's right. Like
It's
you
also
say.
the big, weird homecoming tradition of the university. So
Yep. Here they come. All right.
not bad. I feel like the time wasn't bad.
No.
I don't know. I don't time them. Somebody else is doing that. Their boat's in
There you
good
go.
shape.
They did. They did a good dismount.
Yeah.
They will be ready for the Derby.
Yep. Very good.
Congrats, guys, on finishing to the finish line. Tell me your names and something about that was a strength during the boat race.
I'm Joshua Capella. I'm from Chestertown, New York, and for me, a big strength in this boat race was really just knowing my trig triangles, because without those, I don't know how we would design that boat.
Yeah, my name is Gideon Rutaramo, and yeah, honestly, when we were building the boat, he was always in the numbers, just drawing triangles, putting stuff together. I was just like a tape guy, you know, put this together, let's tape this and this, but I think teamwork made it happen.
Yeah, awesome, great job. How do you think you guys did?
I felt pretty great about that run, honestly.
It was amazing.
So much fun.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just had an exciting sinking that I didn't comment on because I was swapping out my student co-host here. So Anthony went on his way, and now I have Miss Brianna Ice, and she is also a senior, right? Senior mechanical engineering student. And so I don't know the mechanical engineering students quite as well, but I was told that you are pretty excited about the canoe race. Were you advising a canoe team this year?
I helped a team this year. I wasn't like one of their official advisors, but I did help a team. One of my friends, he was the only advisor on a team, so I just kind of jumped on and helped him. So
oh, cool. Well, that
a lot of
sounds fun.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have a story about these two guys that we're watching right now. Who is this? This is...
It's teammate.
This is teammate, yeah. So because Elijah is the guy in the back of the canoe there, and he's in my C++ class right now, and he was telling me yesterday that they had to rebuild their canoe last night because one of the guys had a mishap with a pair of scissors and got blood all over the canoe.
Oh no.
And his I don't know which guy anyway. So he ended up having to pilot the canoe at the last minute, and they did a redesign because the weight was significantly different.
Oh wow.
And then also because their canoe was covered in blood.
Well,
So
they got across.
They did good. Yeah.
Pretty good.
So I'll have to congratulate him. I thought that was an exciting story. I'm like, wow, I had never heard of that happening before.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic.
Apparently, building a canoe can be dangerous. Anyway, okay, so the team that sunk must have been Team 7 then. And that was Isaac Cook, Arkin Solomon, Joshua Baratka, and Daniel Hall. And now the guys we have coming up in Teams 9 and 10, we've got Team 9, Connor Royce, Justin Candle, Caleb Stevens, Isaiah Hansen. And Team 10, Albin Augustine, Ian Benson, Zachary Craig, and Hunter Laurel. And here are our finish line announcers. Over to you, girls.
Hi, can you tell me your name and how you think you did on the boat race? Also, congrats on getting past the finish line.
Thank you. My name is Logan Gilbert, and I think my team did a pretty good job saying that we started our boat construction yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So would that be a strength or a weakness? What was the biggest one in doing that?
I say it's a strength and the weakness because like we rushed it a lot, but like we had a good plan, and so we kind of worked through that. But like when you're working on a boat at like 2 a.m., things kind of get a little fuzzy. So.
Well, congratulations on getting past.
Thank you.
All right, so which team were you helping, Brianna?
Team 26.
Team 20. Okay, so they're going to be a little bit.
They'll be a while. Yeah.
So can you tell us about your canoe race experience back when you were a little baby freshman?
I had such a fun time on the cardboard canoe race. My best friends were in my cardboard canoe, and we got second place, and it was an absolute blast.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So were they your best friends before the cardboard canoe race? Or did they become your best friends?
They really became my best friends.
That's
I would
pretty
say
cool.
I kind of knew them before, but I really got to know them really well after. We all go to church together. One of them's my roommate, so.
Were you on an all-girls team?
Yes, I was.
I know Dr. Chasnov likes to make all-girls teams.
Yeah.
Probably for that reason, because he wants you to be able to have the opportunity to meet each other.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. It kind of builds you glues you together to start it off.
Well, and they're probably logistically too, if you have a team with boys and girls, then you can't work in a dorm.
Yes.
Like at night, so.
Yeah. Can't do a 2 a.m. thing.
Right. So, what made your boat so winning?
Well, we spent a lot of time on it. We went with a W design.
Ooh, what's a W design?
Well, it's how you shape the bottom of your boat. It's like a W. So you have kind of 2 channels, and you have a kind of a gap in between. And,
Okay. Wait, so does it look like a W from the top view or from the side view?
From the side view. So
Okay.
your bottom, you have a W running along the base of your boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit more challenging, a lot more work, but they usually tend to do better.
Okay. Yeah, so that one I just saw, that didn't, they had like straight sides.
Yeah.
Straight pieces along the side.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well that was team 10, was pretty snappy.
Yeah.
Team 9 still coming in.
They look like their sides are really tall.
Yeah, the tall sides, if you feel like it's going to be a good idea because, you know, it's not going to get water in it, but then you can't, if they're too
row.
tall, you can't reach over to paddle, so you can't get anywhere.
But they're
Theirs
not
aren't
sinking.
so bad. Some of them I've seen, like, they're crazy tall, and
Yeah.
and then you can't get anywhere. Wow, it looks like Mr. Dudenhofer has a little Dudenhofer with him.
Aw.
That's cool.
That is cool. Oh no.
Okay, so Brianna, can you tell me about what your favorite class at Cedarville has been so far?
Just in general or engineering classes?
How about both?
Both? Okay. I think my favorite class in general was probably social movements.
Okay.
I got to take that during Dr. Murdoch's final semester.
Oh,
so,
man.
yeah, that was really cool.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
So I have not sat in social movements, but I got to know Dr. Murdoch a little bit last year. And now I kind of really wish that I could, but I only really want to do it with him. Well, I'm sure that whoever's doing it, I don't know who's doing it now, and I'm sure it's still very good, but...
He just has so much wisdom to give, and it was really good.
Right. That sounds very cool. So what did you learn in social movements?
It was kind of like a combination class. It was a lot of like civil rights movements and stuff, and he was involved in some pretty amazing. He had some amazing experiences when he was a young professor here at Cedarville, coaching teams and stuff. And he would just kind of tell us stories, and it was cool to like learn history almost from history. So
right. Well, because a lot of it was so he's teaching about the civil rights movement, right? That's mostly what it's about. It's kind of a history class, but
it's
he's
like half and half.
He's telling you like stories from his actual life, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I've only talked to him a few times, but he really likes telling those stories, even in other contexts. So I have heard some of them, and they're very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I have that.
And then probably my favorite engineering type class was probably statics. It was just a really like fundamentary class, and I got to really kind of explore engineering for the first time. And I kind of did some of that in high school, and I didn't like it at all. So it was a big surprise that I enjoyed it as much as I did in college.
Wow, but you liked it anyway, or you did it anyway, even though you didn't think you liked it.
Yes.
That's bold. That's good. That's funny. All right, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the homecoming parade tomorrow. Please join us as we line the streets to watch the annual homecoming parade. There will be a mix of student displays, class reunion floats, and community representation. The live stream for the homecoming parade will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, or perhaps we'll see you there in Cedarville.
Oh.
All right, so statics, your favorite class. I don't ever hear anyone say that statics is their favorite class, honestly. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's your first real mechanical engineering
Yes.
class.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see, what teams do we have up now? I'm afraid I've lost count a little bit. We must have...
I think that might be the first girls team. So.
Oh, okay, so it must be 13 and 14? Yeah, we must be looking at 13 and 14. So that's team 13 is comprised of Caleb Bevan, Noah Grooms, Chernet Rowe, and Ian Maxim. And team 14, we have Misha Harris, Kimi, oh boy, some exciting names here. Kimi Wenger, Olivia Odumosu, and Johanna Holmes. And let's go over to the finish line and talk to one of those teams that just finished up.
Congrats on getting past the finish line. Can you tell me your name and one thing that was your favorite part about doing the race?
My name is Caleb Wilson, and honestly my favorite part about the race was actually just being out there. Like, I've never really been in a boat before, and it was kind of neat to get to actually sail across in a boat that we made ourselves.
Yeah, did you have any strengths or weaknesses when making the boat?
Our main strength was just getting the core of the boat just as strong as we could. So we really wrapped up all the joints in tape, made sure it was nice and rigid. And then sort of our second goal was we wanted it to look nice. So the outside we sort of prioritized using as many large sheets of cardboard as we could so that it gave a nice clean and sealed outside.
Well, great job. Thank you so much.
Great job.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. All right, so Brianna, do you have any advice for upcoming Cedarville students who might be watching the live stream, or maybe some of our freshmen, or, you know, people who are just thinking about starting engineering?
Think about starting engineering. I would say it's really hard, but you have to really figure out what you want to do and why you want to do it. So if you just want to be an engineer because either you want the money or something else like that, that's not a good enough reason. You really need to figure out why you are wired the way you are and what you really enjoy doing with your life. So.
Wow, that sounds hard. How do you figure that out? How did you figure that out?
Well, I like to try things, so I
Wow, the
like
snuggly duckling is doing great.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just, they got a really cute logo there.
They do. Yeah. Well, I tried different things. So like when I came to Cedarville, I joined the super mileage team, and I've been a part of that all 4 years. And that's just been a really great experience to just get to practically apply skills. So,
yeah, okay, so you've been doing, so is your senior design super mileage?
Yes.
Very cool. So what part, or, you know, I haven't really talked to anybody about super mileage this year yet. So what are you working on this year?
So we're building a new car, second generation of a current vehicle that we have. We're gonna hopefully lower the weight of the car significantly.
Okay.
We're going to build it out of using carbon fiber.
Right.
And we're going to fuse the frame to the body.
So the frame's going to be
too.
carbon fiber.
The frame and the body are both going to be carbon fiber.
So I've seen the body. Are you using the existing body, the shark body?
Well, we're going to use the existing shape, so we're going to lay out a new body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Cool. So super mileage, well, okay, maybe you should tell the moms and dads at home what super mileage is.
Yes. Super Mileage is a competition team where we just build vehicles for fuel economy. And so we just build them from scratch, essentially. It's a lot of work, but you get to really apply a lot of skills.
Right. So you build like a whole tiny car that runs on gas, right?
Yes.
And the goal is to make it as energy efficient as possible.
Yes.
And, some of them, like in the thousands of miles per gallon, right?
Yeah, I think the school record's just shy of 1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they're not very comfortable.
No. A little toasty.
Maybe not very reliable.
Yes.
But thousands of miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a fun project. All right, we're going to go back over to the finish line.
Congrats on getting past the finish line. Could you tell me your name and your biggest strength and weakness in doing the boat race?
My name's Noah Grooms. Our biggest strength, I would have to say, was definitely teamwork, good ideas, and our weakest was definitely some of our supports didn't last. So maybe our rolling was our weakest point, but our strong intuition made up for it.
And what was your favorite part?
My favorite part was definitely crossing the finish line and getting a good grade.
Awesome. Great job.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, so Brianna moving on with her day, and I have another one of my students joining me, Miss Rachel Judy, and she's also a senior, and she is a computer engineering major.
Hello, nice to be on today.
Yeah, thanks for watching the canoe race with me, Rachel. Okay, let me take a look at, before we talk to Rachel, let's see, this must be team 15 and 16. Team 15, we've got Elizabeth Keenan, Danielle Cheek, Rebecca Porter, and Feza Lukosi. And team 16, we've got Mary Miller, Ashley Dingman, Andrea Rucci, and Madison Rains. I know some of these girls. Some of these girls are in my class. So anyway, all right. So I've been asking your colleagues, Rachel, about their canoe race experience, but you actually didn't do a canoe race, right?
I did
do a canoe race?
Yes.
So you would have done it 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, 2019.
Okay, great. So tell me about your canoe race experience. I only thought maybe she hadn't because she was a transfer student. So that's all.
Yeah.
So tell us about your canoe.
Well, my canoe race, we did a similar design as a number of the other girl teams with a W bottom, building off the success of the team last year. Brianna, who was just on, she built the boat that had worked out so well the year before. Unfortunately, the people in the boat were me and one other girl on my team, and neither of us had much canoe experience.
That does make a difference.
Yeah. So we made it about maybe 10 feet off the dock, and one of the paddles got flipped over. We were super unstable, and we just tipped over.
Oh, sad day.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, look at this octopus design.
Wow.
That's beautiful. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
I know you guys on the screen have already seen the boat for a while, but now I'm seeing it in real life coming past our little tent here.
Indeed.
And
I thought the shape of this boat was really good. I heard it was just finished today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're struggling. It's kind of folding in half. Ooh, yikes.
Ooh.
They took on too much water.
Maybe they can swim to shore.
It's possible that'll count as a crossing because of how close they were to the finish line. I know there's kind of an algorithm for how that works.
Yeah,
but
they have to be close to being able to stand in the lake.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Kraken. That makes sense.
Well, looks like...
Okay, so our next guys...
They're getting ready to load in.
Yeah, our next guys must be Yes, I recognize Jasmine. So we've got Team 17, we've got Jasmine Wong, Elizabeth Eltist, and Elisa Schmidt. And Team 18, we've got Braden Clark, Landon Clark, Caleb Zekel, and Christopher Olson. And again, I'm sorry, moms and dads. I know I'm surely saying some of your names wrong, but don't know all of these guys yet. I'm looking forward to getting to know some of them better. Maybe some of them will be on the canoe race show next year. I talked to one freshman who he was asking me about the canoe race show, and I told him, next year, man, you should be on the show.
Do you have any sophomores on this year?
I don't think so.
All right. I know you got seniors and juniors.
I ended up more with seniors and juniors this year. I usually just try to ask individuals who I think would have a fun time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, well, so the girls got across. All right, so Rachel, can you tell me, let's see, how about favorite Cedarville class so far?
Ooh, so the favorite one so far is probably ADLD, which I took in the spring of last year.
Ah, that's the same one Anthony said.
Yeah, that was a really fun project for a lot of the computer engineers because we built a robot mostly from scratch, a few pre-built components, a PCB, that sort of thing. Soldered it ourselves, programmed it, and it had to run an obstacle course based on a couple of different like light, magnetic, distance sensor, that kind of data. And it was just really fun to try to optimize it, and the competition was to make it as fast as possible.
Right.
And so there were a number of really competitive
ones. You won that competition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I was there. All right. We are going to go to the finish line and talk to one of those teams that just sunk.
Yeah. Hey, oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. I would love to ask your name and one of your biggest strengths and weaknesses when doing the boat race.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Elizabeth Keenan, so I'm a freshman civil engineering major. Biggest strength was probably keeping balance. That was definitely hard to do, but we tried to do it all the way to the end. Weakness was matching with each other, trying to make sure we were across and in sync across the entire lake. But
yeah, what was your favorite part overall?
Just flying out here, getting everybody to watch us. It was really, really cool to be able to do this really cool activity that the program does.
Well, great job.
Thank you so much.
This one team seems to be making decent speed.
Yeah, so
nice,
this
consistent
must
rowing.
This must be Team 18.
It's the same ones.
Right.
Names.
But so Team 18 is the one that's making really good speed here. Yeah, they do. They look like they're trucking right along. Looks like a real canoe.
They have really good rhythm.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, ADLD. So fun competition, which you dominated, which I'm sure was very fun. But I mean, I was there. It was still very competitive.
It was.
There was a lot of people who were really doing some crazy robot stuff.
There were 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe more like 4 of us that were trying really hard to get the fastest robot, and we poured hours into it that week. There was a mistake made with the sub. We were all kind of kicking our voltage up a little bit to the motors to try to make it go faster.
Right.
And we got it up a little bit too far for one guy. And his just kind of spazzed, but it could have happened to any of us because I think we were all operating at about the voltage where his went bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trying to push it. Don't have to worry about that with cardboard canoes.
It's a whole different worry subset.
Yes.
Yeah, both teams made it that round.
I feel like the cardboard canoe project really, it's not primarily a technical project. I don't know, at least I see it that way. It definitely is technical to some extent, but like the modeling and stuff that they do, it really only captures a subset of the dynamics that could make them win or lose. You know, like how big your boat should be based on weight, like how big and how deep. Like that's something that definitely matters, but it's like, what also matters is how do you sit in it, like can it twist, stuff like that. So I think it's designed to be somewhat technical, but also kind of a team building experience more than like a really hardcore technical project. And I think it serves that really well. You meet people, you learn how to work with people. You learn some stuff by doing about mechanics, I guess, probably.
Yeah, you probably learn some. It's really a good experience for the advisors too, because they're sharing what they learned last year, what they've learned newly.
You get some upperclassmen and underclassmen meeting each other and helping each other and stuff, and that's really cool. So let's see, this must be teams 19 and 20. So team 19, we've got Joel Ward, David Capron, Osek Drury, and Aiden Peterson. Team 20, we've got Josiah Entner, John Graham, Austin Widner, and Jacob Franson. And the guys in the canoe should be David and Aiden in boat 19 and Josiah and Jacob in boat 20. We'll go over to the finish line to talk to one of those teams that just finished.
Congrats on getting across the finish line. Could you tell me your name and your biggest strengths and weaknesses when doing this project?
My name is Jasmine Wong. I don't really think I had any strengths during the boat race. It was Anna who helped me through, told me that we were going to make it, that we would finish. I was meanwhile just panicking, being worried, and worried that we would tip over because I feel my weakness was trying to paddle and know which side to paddle because I was very worried when we were wobbling during the canoe race.
Well, you did a great job, you guys. I'm so glad you guys got across. What was your favorite thing about the experience?
I think it was just rowing in a canoe because I've never ridden in a cardboard canoe before, so at least I have the experience.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So these guys look like they're doing pretty good. Wow, we've got a very colorful number 20.
It looks like they put some work into the number.
Yeah. Their boat looks pretty good too, though. It's pretty sturdy. Okay, so Rachel, can you tell the moms, dads, and friends listening why you chose to study engineering?
Okay, yeah. So when I was in high school, I took a couple of programming courses, just kind of seeing if I liked it. I'd always liked math and science, problem solving, that kind of thing. And in high school, I took a course, an engineering intro course, that introduced me to a variety of different types of engineering. We built like a spaghetti bridge, and we did a digital logic robot light project. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I ended up TAing for it a couple years after that. And I found that I enjoyed the programming and the hardware, so I chose computer engineering.
Cool. That's really neat. So you had some exposure in high school and were able to kind of make a more informed decision because of that. That's cool. And have you been pleased enough with your choice so far?
Yes, I've been very pleased with the choice.
Okay,
hopefully
good.
so, being in senior year.
Yes. Well, there's a little bit of guesswork and luck that goes into it, I think. I don't know. You don't know what you don't know, that's all.
Fair.
Like, you get into something and you think that it's one thing, and then you learn that it's probably something a little bit different than what you thought.
Yeah.
But hopefully
it was
it's still
super
something
nice.
that you like.
It was super nice because I had digital logic design first semester, which most computer engineers or electrical engineers would. And it showed me that I really enjoyed that particular part of engineering, the digital side of things. So it helped me decide early on, so I didn't have to kind of wait and see if I liked it until I got into major courses later.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go back over to the finish line for another interview. Over to you.
Congrats on getting across the finish line. Can you give me your name and your biggest strengths and weaknesses when preparing for the boat race?
Yeah, so I'm Jacob Franzen. I was on team 20, so we had 4 guys. I think our biggest strength was we all worked really hard as a team. We met actually every day this week, and I think we kind of just clicked right away. None of us knew each other before the project, so it was just really fun getting to know the guys, but also working together.
Yeah, and what was your favorite thing overall?
My favorite thing was going across the lake. It was very painful, but I had a blast.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Looks like Team 21 did not make it across the lake. Team 21 was comprised of Jacob Martin and Doda C, and those are the guys that were in the boat that are now in the water. And then Pablo Marquez and Caleb Villa were also on that team. Team 22 is about to reach the finish line. Those guys are Isaac Goodwin, Nathan Page, Kieran Black, and Aaron King.
Yep. Looks like the back of their boat might be a bit wet, but
yeah.
Otherwise, they.
I feel like there's been some significant demolition derby contenders so far. We should have a good demolition derby this year.
For sure. There were a number that had pretty well-defined edges, so if they made it across, or noses that were well-supported.
Yeah.
So if they make it to the demo derby, then they should be able to cause some havoc.
Yeah. I don't really know about the demo derby. I mean, I don't know. It seems really tough. It seems kind of like there's not a lot. I don't know. Whenever I watch the demo derby, I'm like, I don't know how much you can really do on offense to like try to sink people.
True. You just want to have a solid side, I guess, in defense.
Yeah.
And if you can turn your boat, if you're good at paddling, and if you can get the nose pointed
like
toward other people, maybe.
The thing that really gets people is not like offensive maneuvers.
They just
more like sogginess.
give into the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. And
Okay.
it looks like another team's taking off.
Yes, this is teams 23 and 24. We have, on 23, Andrea Chafee, Benjamin Rowan, Seth Berkey, and Grant Weiss. And team 24, we have Curtis Craig, Bronson Butt, Evan Keller, and Jack Bishop. That's odd. So there's been a couple names I recognized in here who are upperclassmen. So like Mary Miller, she's an upperclassman, but I believe she changed her major.
Yes, I think she did several times.
Is that the same case with Benjamin Rowan?
I don't know. I think he's a senior. I'm pretty sure he's a senior.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
He must have put off
what
this
happened.
class. That's funny. Well, he's having a great time.
Guess we'll see when he gets here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely a senior. Interesting.
Assuming it's the same one, yeah. Well, team on the left seems to be making decent time.
Yeah.
The guy on the right, though, their sides look a little unstable.
Yep, sagging in the back. So do you have any advice for up-and-coming Cedarville students who might want to study engineering? Like maybe some little brothers and sisters who are watching, or maybe some of these freshmen here?
Yeah, well, engineering is a lot of work. Not hiding that. So if you want to be an engineer, you got to be prepared to work hard. It's great if you like problem solving, and be great if you... Oh, they're going down. Down in style, though.
Yep.
And I mean, it helps if you have a background in math and sciences already to a degree, but you're okay if you don't. And just keep pursuing the things you're interested in. Do little projects on the side. If you're interested in the programming side of things, that's a really easy thing to start doing without any spending money on things.
Yeah, that's a good point. That you could get started programming anytime and see how you like it.
Yeah, and you can come visit.
Hobby electronics isn't very expensive either.
True. It's more expensive though if you're young and don't have a job.
I guess. I don't know. I guess I was just thinking about like an Arduino or something.
Oh, okay,
like
that's fair.
Less than
That's
$100
true.
bucks.
You can get one of those. And we're loading another team.
Yep. So who's this? This must be 25 and 26. So team 25 is comprised of Brandon Hurley, Justin Klingenpeel, Caleb Croyshank, and Daniel Ormsby. And team 26, we have William Anglin, Grant Goodrich, Aiden Pommels, and Luke Bowers. So our pilots are Brandon and Daniel for Team 25, and Grant and Aiden for Team 26.
and
Watching these guys getting out. Those are some of the normal canoes are manned by our faculty members from the School of Engineering and Computer Science. And they're there to help the guys get their canoes out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, whoa, whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there he goes.
No. Oh, if they're not damaged, they
Capsized.
could maybe get back in.
Yeah.
Their boat
Man,
looks,
that boat just wanted to spill.
Their boat looks pretty stable.
Yeah, I know. What happened?
Well, strong. Probably a balance issue.
Yeah.
Are they going to try to get back in?
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I don't know. Shout out to the
Looks
Tomato
like-
Pie people over at the dock that are in
Yes.
the water.
Yes, Rachel and I are both involved with our Tau Beta Pi chapter, which is the Engineering Honor Society. Rachel's the president this year, and I'm the advisor. And we have several of our members who volunteered to help Dr. Cole get everybody into their boats.
Plus Aaron.
Plus Aaron, yeah. Yeah, okay, looks like they're getting back in.
All right. If they didn't get too much water inside their boat, they might be able to do it
go, yep.
because they'll set lower in the water this round. Less of a balance issue.
Well, they're going. Good for them.
You got Team 25.
Yep, they're making pretty good
passing,
time,
like,
it
the third
seems.
buoy. And Team 26. Is this 26?
Yes, 26.
They are still afloat.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of looks like they're going to make it. They're going to take it slow.
And steady.
Yeah. Well, they might as well. They lost a bunch of time anyway.
That's true.
I don't think the time doesn't really impact your grade, does it?
Technically, it was set up if you're in the top 25%, you get a certain grade, the middle 50, and then the bottom 25, and then the sinkers end up in the bottom 25 because they don't finish. So
I thought it was based on how far you got.
That's not what the rubric said when I did it, but it could have been changed.
He may change it from year to year to make it a little bit of a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how he's doing it this year. I know that sometimes, I don't think he's done it in a while, Dr. Chasnov, but sometimes he'll actually change the actual competition where the amount of cardboard that you get is different.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some years where you had to take a passenger that wasn't on your team.
Wow.
So you had to have two of your teammates that paddled and then an additional person.
I think I heard about that one. And then everybody was in the SSC looking for the lightest girl they could find to get in their boat.
And I think Dr. Chasnov stopped doing it because he didn't want to embarrass all those light girls.
I don't know, though. Maybe as freshmen you want to be on the lake. It's a thing you can't just do.
Right. So I don't know. But there have been various flavors of canoe race rules over the years. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to Rachel for now, and I'm going to be joined by another one of my students, Mr. Jonathan Sutherland, so I'm going to get him set up.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Dr. Fredette.
How are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. A little tired. Stayed up late studying for an exam, but doing well.
Aw, what exam was that?
History and Politics of Latin America.
Okay, not what I was expecting.
No, definitely put off all the reading for that class because I was focusing on my engineering classes.
Okay, I guess that happens. Uh-oh, I did not see these guys sink. I missed it.
Yeah, they completely turned sideways and then just folded in half.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what happened when they were at the start. They just went,
Oh, no.
they just rotated.
So they managed to hop back into it again?
Yep, they managed to get back into it, but it was wet.
Yeah,
so that makes sense why it would have folded in half.
Yeah, cardboard definitely does not do well once it gets wet.
No.
Any splashing into the canoe and you're pretty much done.
Right, well, because the inside is more like absorbent. The outside kind of has a coating on it, the white part. So, yeah. Well, they probably got a much better grade having made it this far.
Yeah, I think the whole difference is whether you float at the dock and make it away from the dock. Once you leave the dock, it's the same grade as long as if you sink.
That's so funny. Rachel and I couldn't agree on what we thought the rules were. So I'm going to have to check with Dr. Chesnall.
Yeah. I mean, I know at least that's what it was for me.
And we both thought it was something other than that. But I think he changes it every year, and that's why we all don't agree.
That would make it interesting. I don't see why you would change it every year.
Well, I think he changes it whenever he feels like it. So that's my hypothesis, but
I mean, that's a very Dr. Chesnoff thing to do.
yes, it is. It is very Dr. Chesnoff. All right, let's see who we got up here. This must be teams 27 and 28. So team 27, we have Elijah Wilkerson, Jonathan Bukasa, Elijah Clark, and Joseph Copeland, with Elijah and Joseph in the canoe. And then team 28, we've got Isaac Tawney, Jacob Westover, Benjamin Philipposian, and Danny Chen, with Isaac and Danny in the canoe.
Oh, nice. Danny's a solid guy. I got to know him a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think he's actually a transfer sophomore, but I guess he's doing the freshman engineering classes.
Well, yeah, and we've had a couple of students whom I recognized as not freshmen, who, must be transfers or put off the class or something.
Yeah. I mean, I know my roommate that I had sophomore year did this class and was in this canoe because he started off in computer science and switched over to computer engineering.
Yeah. Yep, that happened. I think that was one of the students who I recognized here. So did you work with the canoe team this year?
No, I didn't. I've always been available, and I came by a few people as they were working, and they asked me for a little bit of advice, but that was it.
Okay.
Main advice I gave was just, corners that you do, tape the corners, because the wax does separate on any corners that you fold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good advice.
Yeah.
So like when you fold, so put the tape over the fold on the white side.
Yeah, I mean, especially on the outside, you see the very boxy shape. So there's a pretty tight bend on the outsides, and it actually separates out your wax so the water can get right in. Mm-hmm. But these people seem to be doing pretty well, just chilly going along.
Yeah, they're not super speedy, but they seem like they're doing fine.
I feel like they may be just relaxing a little too much.
Well, I don't know. It could be relaxing, or it could be just being cautious.
Yeah.
They look like they're trying to be cautious.
Definitely huge tolerance difference between the two.
Yeah. Right. So you mean you've got a short side one and a tall side one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Danny's team, which is number 28, they've got what's that? 30 centimeters or so above the water.
Right, which is a bit much, but it seems like it's okay. I mean, they're not having a hard time reaching over it, so that's good. Okay, so tell us about your canoe experience when you were a baby freshman.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
That was actually...
I should have said Jonathan is a senior mechanical engineering student.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny looking back because there's only actually one person still at Cedarville from the team that I was in, and even him, he's a computer engineer, so I haven't seen him that much. But it was a good time. We had this very fancy design for the front because we wanted to actually have a nice pointed tapered front. And then as we were drawing out our cutouts onto the cardboard, we realized we did not have enough cardboard for that. So we gave up on that and just did, the sort of box slanted upwards front.
Yeah, okay.
And it worked pretty well. We were very conservative with our tape use, so we taped all the corners. All the joints and stuff we rolled, though, we put just enough tape on to make it secure and not too much. We would cut the joints so there's a lot of cardboard over on the joints, so the joints were very strong. And because of that, we actually were able to tape up the sides. So the cardboard only went about that far up from the base, and then we taped up about that much again.
So you had a tape layer on the outside. Nice.
It actually looked really cool because you could see the frame through that.
Yeah, okay.
It was a very narrow canoe, so it went pretty well. It was a little unstable, but the two of us who were paddling, because I was paddling on it back before I gained weight during my time here at Cedarville. So yeah, no, it went really well. We got like 5th place, so tied
wow,
down.
Very good.
Yeah, tied down to the millisecond with my roommate. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize I had gotten several canoe winners because Brianna was just on here and she was talking about her team got 2nd place, and that would have been the same year as you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a fun time.
Yeah. Let's see, who do we got here? This must be 29 and 30, I think. Yeah. So on Team 29, we have Jonathan Keelan, Jonah Solly, Joshua Weber, and Lucas Algate. And on Team 30, we have Caden Torgerud, that's an exciting name, Lucas Berkeley, Miles Rupp, and Stephen Keary. And Caden and Stephen are in the canoe, and on Team 29, we have Jonathan and Lucas in the canoe. We're going to go over to the finish line for a quick interview.
Congrats on making it past the finish line. Could you tell me your name and a strength and weakness of preparing for the boat race?
My name is Danny. The strength of preparing the boat race, we made a really good design. The weakness will be, I can't think of one. I think everything's went pretty well.
That's good. And what was your favorite part about the boat race?
My favorite part about the boat race is that we get to work together as a team and build something that works.
Well, congratulations. Great job.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks. So we've still got, this is still teams 29 and 30. Yeah.
Looks like they got something sticking up in the middle of their boat. I can't tell what it is.
Oh yeah, they've got some kind of mascot or something.
It's kind of cool.
Did you see the one with the picture of Dr. Chasnov's face on the front?
I did not.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Did they print it out? Did they draw it? Or?
They had it printed out. It was like a stick, kind of like that, but it was right in the front.
That's incredible.
It was weird. And I think that was the team that was chanting his name.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Did they make it across or did they sink?
No, they made it.
They made it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So no rubber ducks for them.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think they made it. They were over here, and if they sunk, it was like way over here. I'm pretty sure they made it.
Solid. These people seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, I guess we really haven't had that high a percentage of sinkers.
Yeah.
Which is good for them.
I wonder if they gave more cardboard this year. 'Cause they may have.
I don't know.
That can vary.
It's that their boat says Evergreen.
Yeah. See, the other team, number 30, has just very simple box design, still doing really well.
Yeah, it really, the whole like aerodynamic thing is not really, I feel like that doesn't matter as much as sturdiness and like how much the boat wants to twist.
That's true. I mean, a lot of wanting to twist, though, is also just the paddlers. How good are they at balancing? Where do they place their weight?
That's true. Are you going to load it with the twisting?
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
Oh, there they go. A sprint to the finish.
Nice.
Nice.
Good job, fellas. Okay, let's see. Our next teams. Wow, we're getting to the end of the official race here. We've got teams 31 and 32. And that, let's see, Team 31 has Daniel Hogshead, Andrew Shives, and Nathaniel Shaden, with Daniel and Nathaniel in the boat. And Team 32, we have Ryan Goodridge, Ian Fox, Wilson Jackson, and William Shaw, with Ryan and Ian in the boat. Now, as we were talking about earlier, we do have the Demolition Derby after the official race is over. So stick around. I think we'll be live streaming that as well. Sure. All right. Okay, I want to tell you guys a little bit about some of the other stuff we have going on for homecoming. The next one I have for you is the Homecoming Chapel live stream. You could relive your 10 a.m. chapel experience at this special service featuring worship and messages from Dr. Paul Dixon and Dr. Thomas White. And you can tune in at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, if you would like. All right, so Jonathan, can you tell us, why did you pick engineering?
Honestly, a lot of it was just working with my dad. My dad was an electrical engineer, but he kind of did everything. Like the way he described himself was a jack of all trades. So we were in missions, so he was actually able to take me to work with him. And I did that through most of high school. I would finish up my school, get back to the house, and go straight out to work with him. And I just developed, the ability and just the liking for working with my hands, working on designing stuff, being able to really just understand how stuff works.
That's cool. What kind of work did you do with him?
Some was just, so my dad is an electrical engineer working like transmitters for shortwave radio.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually working with him on just like upkeeping the transmitters, often, taking them apart, replacing diodes, replacing electrical components. And then also on the antennas themselves, every 7 years or so, we would completely take down the dipoles, swap them out for new dipoles because of the sun cycle and wanting to have the perfect frequencies to not go straight through the ionosphere.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, just work with him on that. Pulled a couple all-nighters because we would finish broadcasting at like 11 o'clock-ish, and there'd be a broadcast starting again at 8 o'clock the next morning. So we would just work all the way through the night, swapping out the dipoles.
Oh, wow.
And then tuning them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, so how come you didn't become an electrical engineer?
Honestly, I didn't like how purely theoretical a lot of the electrical engineering stuff was. I loved working with my hands, being able to actually visualize stuff that was happening.
Okay.
And I did like the electrical side of things. Truly, if Cedarville had a mechatronics degree, I would have gone into mechatronics.
Mm-hmm.
Since they didn't, I was like, well, electrical engineering, I just do electrical. Mechanical, I do a little bit of both, and I could potentially go into either afterwards.
Sure.
So I was like, well, I'll choose the one that's got the broader options.
And have you been happy with that choice so far?
I have.
Okay,
I've really
good.
enjoyed it. Over the summer, I did some work more in robotics, so mechanical and robotics. So if I do go on to grad school, it'd probably be in mechatronics or electrical to try to get that fully rounded to be able to truly work in robotics and deal with the entirety of it.
Okay. You thinking masters or PhD?
Masters to start out.
Okay.
I don't want to get locked into academia. I want to be able to get some experiences like with masters and then potentially go into academia or just getting a PhD afterwards. But that's years down the track.
Cool.
Actually.
That sounds good. Well, and then you'll be able to specialize in something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a good plan. Well, your dad must be pretty proud of you then.
Yeah, it's super fun. I'll call him whenever I'm working on my senior design project, and we'll just like look through it, and I'll ask him advice. It's truly cool.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like our two teams there made it to the finish line, and we've got our last boat.
Oh, nice.
So Team 33 gets to race themselves, and that team is comprised of Samuel Green, John McNally, Jackson Maley, and Ross Brickner, with John and Ross in the canoe. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Oh, that looked bad.
Oh,
looks
no.
bad.
Well, they were at least floating at the dock before they let go, so I believe they still get some points for that.
Oh, that was anticlimactic final canoe.
Yes. That is truly unfortunate.
That's funny. Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's see. Maybe I can ask you one more. Oh, we got an instant replay. There it goes. I can ask you one more informative question for the moms and dads and everybody watching at home. Like, can you tell us about your favorite Cedarville engineering class?
Oh.
So far, I've heard DLD, ADLD, and statics.
Interesting. Who said statics?
Brianna.
That's actually really interesting.
Yes, I know. I was surprised. I don't usually hear that.
Yeah, it is a very interesting class. I still wouldn't put it as fully my favorite.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, it's the elective that I'm in right now, which is dynamics of machines.
Okay.
So it's studying just how components move and the forces on those components, while we also have to figure out how fast they're moving and everything based on the kinematic properties of it.
Oh, that does sound interesting.
It's also with Dr. Thompson, who I really enjoy his classes.
Yeah. That sounds very interesting. So there you go, everybody at home. You didn't even know that was a class,
Yes.
Dynamics of Machines.
Yes.
That's cool.
Boat number 32, first place. Boat number 25, second place. Boat number 18, third place. Please bring your boat to the finish line. We want your picture for the top 3 teams. And now, the rest of you are wondering what else is going to happen.
All right, so what's going on now is that Dr. Chasnov is talking and giving everybody directions, and there sometimes ends up being a little bit of a delay between the end of the race and the demolition derby in order to give a chance for the boats to kind of dry out in the sun. So we're going to be transitioning to the demolition derby now, which is where you can see on the camera here, we've got those 4 big buoys. There's this big box, and the boats that made it across in sufficiently good shape are eligible to enter into the demolition derby. And basically they just have to get back in the water. They got to go out into that box, and they've got to try to sink each other and try to stay afloat. So it's an exciting time.
It is. I was very sad. Even though I placed well my freshman year in the canoe race, I wasn't able to be part of the demolition derby because as we pulled it out of the water, the bottom of our boat snagged on a rock, ripped the entire bottom of the boat off.
Yeah, well, I mean, we watched everybody getting out of the water, and sometimes it ended up being kind of a violent event.
Yeah. I know a lot of the strategy is just to both roll to the same side. Instead of having to try to step out of the canoe, you just roll out of it.
Yeah.
But obviously, you just fill your canoe with water when you do that.
Right, and I saw one team do that really efficiently, but that's what happened. Then their canoe was filled with water, and they had to drag this water-filled canoe out of the water, which was hard.
Yeah. So you save a few seconds there, but end up not being able to compete in the demolition derby afterwards.
Right, yeah. So it sounds like what Dr. Chasnov is doing is announcing who is going to be part of the demolition derby. Sounds like there's quite a few.
It does. Could be exciting with this many boats in there.
Yeah, it will be exciting. Oh, man. All right. So while we're waiting for that, Jonathan, can you tell us, do you have any advice for the up-and-coming Cedarville engineering students, either the freshmen or maybe some of the younger ones that are watching?
I mean, honestly, just enjoy it. Try to get involved where you can. I know for me, one of the big things that I did freshman year was get involved in the robotics team. Honestly, as far as going for jobs afterwards, employers are more interested in that than they are in any of my classes or any of, my grades or whatnot. They're more interested in, hey, what did you do with robotics? How did you work as part of a team with that? So that's what I tell all the freshman engineers that I run into is get involved in one of those extracurricular, whether it's robotics, super mileage, or even just like a team sport. The employers are more interested in can you work as part of a team than even your classes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the robotics team's a good one. It's because freshmen and sophomores only.
Yeah.
So you get to actually do stuff.
Yeah,
you get to do everything. So that's fun.
It's
yeah,
funny with that one.
I think Jonathan is right, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Keep cutting you off.
Yeah. No, it's funny with that one, being a sophomore, but being, one of the older people on the team, it's a strange feeling because as a sophomore, you're still one of the younger people on campus, but at least on the team, you're the one that's mentoring the freshmen. You're trying to lead the teams. You're trying to do that.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, Jonathan, looks like my last student is here. So I think I will say thank you, and I'll let you get on with your day.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Fredette.
Yeah, you're welcome. right, so thanks again to Jonathan and all my other students who've been talking to me today. And my last student who's joining me to watch the Demolition Derby is Miss Caitlin Wiseman. And she is a junior. I've had all seniors so far.
Yeah.
So she's a junior electrical engineering student.
Yep.
So far, I've only had senior mechanical or computer engineering. I don't know why. That's just the way it ended up this year. So anyway, we're holding off. We're just waiting until Dr. Chasnov has everybody start the Demolition Derby. I'm looking over there a little bit. I see all of the canoes are back on the hill, getting ready to get in the water. They're kind of drying them out in the sun a little bit because they obviously all got wet to one extent or another, and they're going to be getting in the water pretty soon. But we'll just hang out until they get going. So, how's your Homecoming Friday going today so far, Caitlin?
Pretty good. Yeah, not super busy, but the canoe race has obviously been a thing. So.
Yes, it is a thing. So, let's see. A lot of the students that I asked to come watch the canoe race with me are usually students that I know from something. So they're usually students who are pretty involved in things. So like Rachel and Jonathan, who we talked to earlier, are officers for the Honor Society for Tau Beta Pi, which I'm involved with. And then Caitlin is president for SWE, which is Society of Women Engineers. And I occasionally do stuff with that org too. I think SWE is actually our most active student org in engineering.
We do have a lot of events.
Yeah. SWE really is a happening org. So tell the moms and dads watching at home some of the stuff that SWE does.
Yeah, so we have every week we'll get together and have dinner together so we can get to know each other a little bit better. At the beginning of the year, we'll have some sort of kickoff event. Like this year, we had a movie night at Dr. Fredette's house.
Yeah, that was fun.
We usually help out a lot with the canoe race. We'll have game nights every so often, stuff like that.
And SWE has like a mentorship program too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so every freshman will be paired up with an upper class mentor who they can get dinner with or just ask questions about electives and professors and classes and just help with life in general.
That's really cool. So how many of the students participate in that?
Probably 40 to 60 total.
Wow.
So it's a pretty
in the
big
mentorship program.
Yeah. So that's including the freshmen and the upperclassmen.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
So, okay. I really like that. I think that's a really good thing for SWE to be doing.
Yeah, and it definitely helps with retention.
Yeah.
Like keeping the female engineering students going.
Right. Because, I guess this is Cedarville. We believe that men and women are different, right?
Sure.
At least somewhat different. So, I do think that, the young women students have somewhat different expectations, or supporting them is a little bit different than it might look for some of the young men students, or the types of things that help them to succeed are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So providing that is something that SWE is trying to do.
Yeah.
The people who are like, well, I want to do this, and even though it's like 80-90% men, you do have women who do want to do it, and we want to try to support them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And yeah, I always look at the group chat, and everybody's always talking about fun stuff and making plans and helping each other out, and it's really nice.
Yeah. It's a great community.
Yeah, it's really good. So thank you for leading SWE this year. You've been doing a good job.
Thanks.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your canoe race experience back when you were a little freshman?
Yeah, so we had a couple of great mentors who are both senior mechanical engineers now. We built our canoe in the DMC with a bunch of the girl teams get together, and we all build together in the DMC to help it's a little bit with SWE to help build that community as freshmen. We had great advisors, so we weren't super confused coming into it, so they were a great help. I wasn't in my boat. 2 of my teammates were, but we made it across. We didn't sink, so it was good.
That's good. Making it across is good.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that all the girl teams get together to manufacture their canoes. That's fun.
Yeah. It helps
It's
when
like a
you're
big party.
wrapping the big long pieces to have a bunch of people together to wrap it
Oh,
around
yeah.
the PVC pipe.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. So that's kind of surprising that they don't actually use a dorm.
No. Well, I don't know. We use the DMC lobby, which is pretty big.
I guess
so
just
there's a
'cause
lot
it's
of
big.
room. Yeah.
But, well, I guess I was under the impression that part of the reason for having girl teams and boy teams was so that you could work together in a dorm if you wanted to.
Yeah. That's good if you're building like after hours.
Yeah.
For sure. Or if you need a place to store it.
Yeah.
That's easy to get to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what kind of canoe design did you guys go with?
We went with the W, so it's like a W on the bottom. It kind of, the sides are tilted out a little bit, and then it comes up in the middle slightly, and then we had a point on the front. So, I don't know. A lot of the canoes are like that this year, I think.
Yeah.
That I've
well,
seen.
that's what Rachel and Bree were talking about. That's
Yeah.
how they did theirs. So that seems to be the legacy SWE design.
Brianna Ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of our canoe mentors.
Oh,
so.
okay, yeah. Cool. I'm not sure what's going on with the Derby here. I guess he must be taking an intentional dry out the canoes break.
Maybe
That's
so.
all I can figure. Here, Dr. Z is kind of the demolition derby guy. So I hear he's taking the microphone now. That's fun. I think it was his idea. He tells stories about that sometimes. So I asked your colleagues who came before you to tell us what your favorite Cedarville class is. So can you tell us what your favorite has been so far?
Favorite Cedarville class? I don't know. I really liked object-oriented C++. I wouldn't be able to say that that's definitely my favorite, but that's one of the ones
That's
I
up there?
definitely enjoyed.
All right.
For sure, yeah.
It's a good choice. So coding.
Yes, I really like coding.
Coding is fun.
It is.
But you're still a double E.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm always trying to convince people to do double E. Because I don't know why they don't want to do it. You keep having recruiters coming and saying, we want to hire more double E graduates. And I'm like, I only have, whatever, 3 or 10 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't a ton of us, for sure.
Yep. But it's very sought after. You'll be a very sought after product next year when you graduate. Plus, it's really fun.
It is pretty fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it.
Yes, it's very interesting. You get to do controls.
Yeah.
You get to do coding. You get to do a little bit of electromagnetism, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You get to do electronics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
electronics.
All of the math ends up being just totally real. Meaning, not like real numbers real. It's not always real numbers real.
We use a lot of imaginary numbers.
But it ends up being, like, the models are just so good. You know, like, they just work. Like, Maxwell's equations, like, that's just how it is. It's fantastic. Or whatever. There's lots of stuff like that. So, that's one thing I like about it. So, let's see, I learned last school year to basically never go to Chick-fil-A because it was always super busy. Has it been like that this school year too?
Most of the time, yeah. There was 1 week when everybody was quarantined or at home, where it was basically a ghost town, so you could just walk right up no matter what time it was, even at like peak.
Yeah, but that's
6
just because
o'clock.
so many people were gone for that
'cause
1 or
nobody
2
was
weeks.
here.
Yeah.
But other than that,
That's funny.
it's pretty busy. It's not as busy as it was when it first opened last year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The line was out the door half the time, but
I have to say, like, when they were building it, so I guess 3 years ago, we were at the canoe race, and that was a construction site. So that would have been when you were in the canoe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the year that you were in the canoe, that was a construction
Yes.
site. And it was all very exciting because the alumni were like, oh, Cedarville's finally getting a Chick-fil-A. It seems so right, you know? And it was like, oh, wow, next year at the canoe, everybody's going to be hanging out, drinking their Chick-fil-A milkshakes, watching the canoe race. And that did happen to some extent this last year, but it really, I saw it happening a lot this year because we just had a lot more people here this year.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of Chick-fil-A milkshakes.
Yep.
Which is just wonderful. I thought it was very appropriate. All right, Dr. Zavodny is issuing instructions. They are not allowed to go outside the buoys, and if they sink, they're out. That seems to be the gist of it. Seems our school mascot keeps bothering us.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So a lot of the crowd has dispersed at this point, but there's still a good contingent here waiting to watch the more violent portion of of the day's festivities. All right, so you're involved in SWE, you're involved in Turning Point. Are there other orgs that you're doing that I don't know about?
I do help out with SEAM some, the Society of Engineers Aiding Missions. We have prayer meetings, and we solder together these solar rechargeable flashlights that we send to missionaries. So, yeah.
That's cool. Does SEAM have any other projects going right now, or just the flashlights? And
not right now. Yeah,
okay.
just the flashlights right now.
That sounds fun. Prayer meetings, that's good. Prayer meetings for missionaries primarily?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Thompson still doing that?
Yep, he heads that up. Gets
Okay.
us the list of people to pray for.
That's awesome. And and tell us about Turning Point. Because you're involved in Turning Point this year too, right?
I am, yeah. So we bring in professors usually every week to give talks on different political issues like gun control and things like that, just so we can get a better understanding of the issue. Because a lot of the arguments in culture are based off of feeling, and so we just want to get some facts and understand what's actually going on with the issues. So we listen to professors give talks, and then we'll have some discussion about different issues afterwards.
Cool. So you're involved in a lot of interesting things, both engineering and not, or tangentially engineering and not engineering.
Yep.
There's lots of cool stuff for students to do at Cedarville.
That's true.
All right, it looks like our boats are getting ready to go. They're loading up with their passengers, or their pilots, I guess. And wow, what a fun shot with the drone. I love it. You can see all of them. They don't get their Tau Beta Pi helpers on this one, I guess. Oh, and some of them are just too wet, and as soon as the guys get in, it just crumbles. That is the way that it goes, yeah. Because once they're wet, they're just they're not rigid anymore, you know? So then they just kind of fold.
Yep.
So that's gonna happen. Yeah, so wow, a bunch of them disqualified right off the bat. But some of them are getting out there, so that's cool. So we've got Dr. Z is saying there's 2 who are officially in the demolition derby, made it into the square. Looks like we've got 3, and nope, just 2.
Oh, no.
Aw. That's funny. So it's pretty hard to even be able to be in the demolition derby because your boat has to stay rigid enough. Oh, okay, so maybe he's not gonna allow anyone else.
It's just a duel.
Wow, okay. Is he gonna allow anyone else to get out into the square? I guess we'll see. That's funny. So, do you have any advice for the freshmen or the younger people who might be watching this live stream and thinking about doing an engineering degree?
About engineering in general?
Well, just advice about college and engineering and those sorts of things.
Yeah. Find a good group of friends who you can study with. That really helps starting out for sure. Because then if you're stuck on something, there's usually somebody around you who can help you. I don't know, get connected with some upperclassmen because they've lived through everything you're living through now, so they can definitely give advice, more specific advice.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh no.
From the top, that's incredible. You really just see it fold right in half. Well, it seems like that must be our winner. Can't quite see who it is. Well, those seem to be...
Those are the canoes that were in the basement of the ENS that got removed by some upperclassmen, I think.
What?
So those aren't even freshman boats. Those are boats from last year.
No way! They had the advantage of dryness.
Yeah, they were able to dry for a whole year.
Yeah, that's not fair. Well, I'm sure Dr. Zavodny is aware. That's funny. Oh, man. It's good. Having a good time. Well, your advice was echoed by several of your colleagues already.
I'm
so
sure.
that must be the good advice. Yeah. Dr. Z knows that they're seniors. That's funny. All right, everybody, I'm going to tell you about one more fun homecoming event that's going to be live streamed, kind of like this one. And this one is the Homecoming Worship Finale. The Homecoming Worship Finale live stream will begin tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you'd like to join us, it'll be an incredible night of worship featuring our 21-22 artist in residence, Matt Papa. So come on out if you're local, or feel free to watch the live stream if you're far away. All right, so it looks like, so this 17, that's the one that was in the bottom of the ENS, right?
Yes.
No, that's Brianna and Mackenzie in that one. That's okay. So we've got a couple of seniors duking it out with old boats here, is what's going on. Because so that one that says 170 Shark, those are 2 seniors. Okay, and this is boat 17 though. Boat 17 though, that's one of our freshman boats. So that is, who is that? That's Jasmine. That's Jasmine and Elizabeth in boat 17. And the 170 Shark is their seniors. And then what about this other boat? Are they seniors?
I think one of them's Dawson. Yeah.
So those guys are seniors too. Okay. So that means that so Team 17 is really the demo derby winner.
I think so.
Yeah, must be. What a silly thing. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, I made a slight mistake with the homecoming worship finale info. That thing is tomorrow night, which should make sense because it's the finale of homecoming, which would be tomorrow, not tonight. So it's gonna be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You can tune in on the live stream or show up in the chapel. So the seniors, no, it looks like the seniors are going down. Boat number 17 is still up. That's incredible. Good for them. So you got 2 senior girls against 2 freshman girls. I guess. I don't know.
It's like the seniors might be sinking
I think
a little bit.
the seniors are sinking. Yep, the back of that shark boat looks like it's taken on some water. I think they're done. Yep, they're done. All right, boat 17, demolition derby winner. Great job to Elisa, Elizabeth, and Jasmine. Did you do the demolition derby, Caitlin? Or did your team?
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did freshman year. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Just making it in there is an achievement.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for this year's cardboard canoe race. A special thanks to University staff member Mark Tucker for the excellent drone footage today, which I was really impressed with, and staff member Sean Riffner, director of the live stream. A shout out to our student production crew from the Department of Communication. They do a great job with this every year, and every year I think it just gets better. Our finish line hosts were Chloe Hunt and Ellie Hines. The replays were done by Nathaniel McLean. The graphics were done by Jonathan Snyder. And on the cameras, Joseph Mattis, Avonlea Brown, and Carolina Zimbran. So be sure to come back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the homecoming parade. 10:15 for chapel, and tomorrow 7 o'clock for the homecoming worship finale. All of those will be live streamed. So from Cedarville University, I'm Dr. Danielle Fredette, and we will see you guys next year. Thanks.